Hi Sharks, my name is Paige Rhodes here with Olympic Seating Solutions, where we strive to create thrones of comfort for the age of drama. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with the Theater of Dionysus. This was built in 500 BC, and it holds 17,000 people, which is crazy, but there's only one problem. It is not very comfortable. This was renovated and stone was put in where there used to be wood, but they didn't keep comfort in mind. They only wanted to make things durable. So here at Olympic Seating Solutions, our goal is to make things comfortable. Whether you're watching an inspiring comedy or analyzing the hamartia in a tension-grabbing tragedy. In order to better understand the design for our new chair, we need to take you back to the history. Back in ancient Mesopotamia, they wrote in cuneiform, and this is one of the oldest civilizations that we know of, back in 400,000 BCE. And this is the Epic of Gilgamesh, which was a mythology that came from Mesopotamia. And it goes to a story of Gilgamesh, who is part divine and part human, and he's a tyrant, and he starts as a tyrant and is later transformed through his friendship with Enkidu. And they have a battle, and they weren't friends at first, and they have the battle, then they become lifelong friends. And so this shows the theme of friendship. And so we wanted to take this and make our chairs a place where people could make new friends and have great friendships. And so we were inspired by the bond between Enkidu and Gilgamesh. And so another theme from the Epic of Gilgamesh is immortality. Just like Gilgamesh sought to find immortality when his friend Enkidu died, he went on all these battles and he had a big fear of death. He didn't want to die, so he sought for immortality. Just like him, we're seeking for immortality in our business. We want to make a product that will last through time and generations. Something that will be more, it will work for any society, anywhere, for as long as it needs to be. So we need it to be timeless, yet unique. Another civilization that we were inspired by is the Minoans. They made this Minoan vase in 2000 BCE, and it shows the sophistication of their society. They had incredible, intricate work on vases and in all other aspects of their society. And while this is a very practical design, it's used to hold liquid, likely oil, it also is beautiful and an excellent place for decor, and we're hoping to achieve the same thing through our chair. We're hoping to have it be super functional and useful, but also be a beautiful decoration and practical around the world. Now, I'm sure you've heard of him, but Homer is famously known for basically shaping Greek culture. He wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey, which totally outlined the gods and goddesses and the mythology that goes behind Greek beliefs, education, and morals. And he wrote around 1750 BC. And so just to go more in detail about the Odyssey is about Odysseus, who goes to fight in the Trojan War for 10 years, and then he's on his way home for 10 years, and he goes on all these adventures and finds people, and it's just a story of him going through all of that. And he faces challenges from gods, mythical creatures, human nature. He goes through it all. And it's just a long story about that. And one of the themes in there is Xenia, which is the theme of hospitality. And this made it so like Greeks had a theme of Xenia, and they wanted to be, they felt that gods could come to your door in disguise. And so they expected everyone to treat anyone who shows up like a god. And they had rules like you couldn't ask them their name until they were given all the human needs, and you had to let everyone in. And it just built a warm and welcoming culture in Greece, and that was started in the Odyssey. So similar to that, we wanted a chair that could be used and like put in a house and people could stay in it, and it could be for guests in case they have like a little house. It could be a place that guests could stay, so everyone could have good Xenia and not be punished by the gods. Additionally, the Parthenon is this beautiful architectural structure that is known to be absolutely amazing. It has fluted columns, a pediment on the top, a frieze, and it's dedicated to Athena on the Acropolis. And it was new at the time, and no one had ever really done something like that. And that's something that we want to kind of emulate in our product. We want it to be new and something that people haven't really done. And it was very timeless. People still think it's incredible and amazing even today. It's very sophisticated. But one of my favorite parts about the Parthenon is that it is a megaron floor plan, which means it's very open, and it just shows that the people were so dedicated to making it practical, because the Parthenon was used for It was dedicated to Athena, so people came and worshipped Athena. There was rituals to Athena, and so a lot of people had to be standing in there, and there wasn't a lot of room. So they had this floor plan, and it was very open, and they had columns, but there was nothing in there that didn't really need to be in there. There was no seating or anything, and we wanted our chair to be similar. We want it to be very practical. We don't want to get confused with all the like decorations and everything. We want it to be very practical and stick to what we said all along. And they also had a style blade. This helped have, this made the Parthenon very sturdy and structural, and it elevated them, it made them more powerful, and it was just a key part of the Parthenon. And so similar to this, we want to build a chair that has a base and it's very sturdy and durable. And they also use the golden mean. This is called God's geometry because it's used all the time in nature, and it's the idea that this part is 1.6 times bigger than this part, 1.6 times bigger than this part, and it just keeps going on and on, creating this beautiful spiral. And it's seen over in the Parthenon and all their measurements, and they figured it out, and it's an amazing technology that they have found out. And we want to do something similar. We want to use the golden mean in our chair. Now it's important to understand Phidias. He was the sculptor, and he was put in charge of building the Parthenon, which makes him super amazing. And he made massive sculptures. He's known as the greatest sculptors in classical history, and he was around during like 500 BC. He's amazing. And one of his sculptures was Athena Parthenos. And he sculpted it. It's 36 feet tall, and it's an incredible sculpture. And the base here is a bronze skirting that he thought was very practical because it could be melted down. If the Persians came in on board, it could be melted down and they could use it for weapons. And so he thought he was being very practical. It's also all gilded, it's all covered in gold. It's an amazing sculpture with Nike in her hand. It's dedicated to Athena, of course. But the reaction he got was that it was very excessive. And the Greeks, there's a theme in Greece that has moderation in all things. They don't want things to be too big or too grand. And so we want to take that aspect and copy it. We don't want to make our chair too crazy that it's over the top. And we just want it to be the perfect balance and comfortable, beautiful, and practical. All of the things it could be. And so here is our design for our chair. We have the stylobate, the base of the chair, which is inspired by the stylobate. We have a design on the side, which is inspired by the Minoan base. And that's for beauty and just aesthetically pleasing. We have 3 buttons on the side, each serve a different purpose. So the first one is a Rotten Tomato launcher, of course, for your theater plays if you need a boom off stage. The second is an armrest that can push down, and so then it turns the seat. If there's 2 seats next to it, the armrest can push down, and it can become a bench, which helps people be more friendship-y and keeps that thing going, so you can make friends with the people next to you, and there's not a divider in between you. And then the third one is so that it can recline up and down, so you can put it in your house, and there can be, they can use it as a bed, and it has good xenia. So yes, that's my offer, sharks. Now we're looking for the offers.
I'm Polykleidos, and I do believe perfection is achievable. I know you were striving to create the perfect chair, and you have come close, but it's not quite right. You need to think of the logistics of how to install these, and I don't care for that octopus design on the side. And for these reasons, I'm out.
Well, if you know me, you know I expect humility. I don't think this presentation was humble, and I also disagree with caring so much about material things. I think you should be punished for it. I am also not in a financial position to support you even if I liked your idea. And for those reasons, I'm out.
I'm Plato, and I do believe there is a perfect form. But I don't think this is it. So, I'm out.
Well, unlike the last 3 sharks, I would consider myself a theatrical man. I love plays, I've even written a few myself. I'm a big believer in catharsis, and I think watching plays is a great way to teach people morals, inspires people to improve. I also agree that the theater seats are very uncomfortable, and I think this is a great idea. I will give you a portion of my wealth and some of my ideas and expertise for 10% of the company.